Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm kind of sitting here, been playing League of Legends a lot. I've moved up from Division 5 to Division 4, but I've been running into the problem in Division 4 that I didn't run into in Division 5. And it's kind of funny to see it this way, that the Division 5 players were playing a lot better than the Division 4. Of course, I'm only in Bronze League, but I wasn't Elo Hell, so it's a step up. But the downside of it is I'm seeing a lot of ADCs in Division 4 that just don't know how to ADC. Like, I played this game last night with this Vayne that built pure attack speed over any damage the first, 30 minutes of the game, and then at the end of the game tried to build an IE to supplement damage. But the problem was, by then they were so fed from killing her and killing the support down bot that there was just no comeback. There was no way to combat that amount of damage. And I mean, there's only so much I could do as a jungler or a mid or a top to kind of combat a fed ADC, a fed support, and getting rickrolled in a main match. So I want to kind of take the time to break down how I successfully build my ADCs and how I always manage to deal the amount of damage that's needed to be done early on, because you don't really need the attack speed to do the damage to win. You need the attack damage, then the attack speed. So usually how I would start my build is I build the crit bracelet, or the crit gauntlets, into an avarice blade, so I have that extra 2 gold per 10 and the extra 2 gold per kill. So it's almost like having a Twisted Fate in your team at any given time. Now, from there, I usually will go take the gauntlets and 2 health pots to start, save up about 1250 gold before I go back, and then I'll go back and I'll buy the avarice blade and the vampiric scepter in one shot. That way I can sustain myself in lane and I can actually build myself from there. Now, I never actually upgrade the avarice blade until I've actually complete my build, and a lot of people say that's a bad idea, but in all honesty, the avarice blade really is only giving me the critical strike and the gold. I don't really need it for anything else. Now, I haven't decided ever, I've been trying different ways to build the avarice blade at the end, between, changing it into a static shiv or changing it into that strict activation of 3 crit. The next 3 seconds, you have 100% critical strike chance, or your next 3 hits. Now that seems to be the better way to go, because I mean, what's better than critting somebody for 1200 damage 3 times in a row? I mean, there's almost no tank or no support or any ADC that could take that. I mean, it's crazy. But if you want to successfully build your ADC, you want to successfully actually own your lane down bot, you have to have 2 things. And those 2 things are, you need to have a support that actually can support. Not have somebody who's just going to be like, hey, oh look, there's a shiny thing over there on the other side of the map and I'm going to run to it. Because I just played a game literally 5 minutes ago where my support, I had a support Lux, which I wasn't really too happy with. I mean, her snare's great and her poke's great because it kind of keeps me able to farm minions while she's poking at them. But the downside is, when you're going up against a Taric and a Tristana, it's not so easy to sit there and take the damage that's being put out, or the stickers with Taric's stun. I mean, how do you beat Taric's stun? Leona. But if you want to be successful as an ADC, make sure your first item, whatever it's going to be, is going to be a pure damage item. You don't need the attack speed early on. So what if the bottom lane gets away with a little bit of health and doesn't die? The main point is you push them out of the lane so you can push the turret. I mean, in all honesty, kills aren't really what win the game. It's winning the map. And a lot of people seem to think that it's, hey, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just own all these people and not push a turret, and we're still going to win because I'm going to have so much damage. The problem is, the longer the game progresses, the more chance the other team will have of coming back. Like, I've been in a game where we were 40-10. 40-10. The game was in the bag. The problem is we would ace them, and by the time we got back down to the turrets to push on them, their entire team was back up. So you can't win a game just by getting kills. Yes, that final ace to be able to push the inhibitor, to push the nexus, to push everything is perfect, but the downside of it is, if you let the game progress too long, that one champ that they have that's going to be OP end game is going to have the time to collect the gold, to build their items, and become able to pretty much two-shot you. Like, I just got as Draven, I've rarely ever lost a game as Draven when I had a good support. But I had an Eve that could two-shot me because our mid who played Victor let her roam every lane, and instead of coming down to help when she went to bot or when she went to top, he just stayed there and he didn't even push the tower. Like, how do you sit in a game and play mid, and when your mid leaves, you come down and just stand in the middle of your lane and not do anything? Like, back to the actual original point of this is how to be a successful ADD. Wow, it's been a long day, and it's only just started. The main point is if you want to build an ADC correctly and you want to build the ADC right, you don't worry about the minor things that are going to affect you in late game. You worry about building yourself the damage you need to be able to 3-shot or 2-shot any champ. It's like I get to a point where I'm Draven or I'm Vayne and I'm able to just roll anyone in a fight. And the hardest part of this thing is like when you go Teemo versus Darius wrecked him top. But when you go with a Teemo in there, you can't let Teemo be on your ADC. And Teemo is the second, I want to say the second ultimate counter to an ADC. And the first would be a Vi, because Vi can shut down just about any ADC anytime she pleases. And if you don't believe me, I'll introduce you to my friend who can literally take Vi and just roll any ADC across the field. It's insane. Once she's level 6, there's no stopping her. She'll catch you any way you go. So, to be a successful ADC, you need to have that damage and that survivability. And survivability doesn't necessarily mean build Warmogs and a GA. It means knowing how to escape a fight if it's not going to go the right way, or knowing how to engage to where you're going to kill off the 2 most high dealing damage people to allow your AP mid to mop up, or your top to mop up. My official builds, like, I rarely ever build attack speed because it's not necessary for the champs I play. So with my builds, it's usually I'll build an Avarice Blade, a Vampiric Scepter, and then I'll buy a BF sword, and then buy another BF sword, and then kind of go from there, depending on how much space I have left after my boots are bought. Usually I have about 1 space, and I either build the Crit Cloak or I build the Pickaxe. And mainly, that's just because that way it's like it's easy to come back, and either I have 2k gold and can finish out the Infinity Edge, or I have, you know, the 880 gold to finish out the Bloodthirster. Now, once you get a Bloodthirster, of course, everybody says build that first, because, I mean, the lifesteal on it's amazing, and the damage that you can get from farming minions is amazing. And my cat right now is deciding that it wants to try and open cabinets that have nothing in it. I don't know what you're doing, Onyx, but it's funny. So, after I get finished building my Bloodthirster or my Infinity Edge, I'll immediately start building a Brutalizer. The Brutalizer is mainly because, well, actually change that, because it's like it depends. If I'm on Vayne, I'll build a Last Whisper. If I'm on Draven, I'll build a Brutalizer. And that's only because, you know, you could stack that into a Black Cleaver. And in my honest opinion, the actual better way to go is always a Last Whisper, because it's flat armor pen before armor penetration. So you could stack the BFs or the Black Cleaver and the Last Whisper, but when you actually build your actual build, you want to have yourself, mainly speaking, an Avarice Blade, your boots, a Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge, a Black Cleaver, or a Last Whisper, or both. And then if you have the time and you want to actually get rid of the Avarice Blade at end game and pick up a Warmogs instead, that might be a better way to go. I always pick up Home Guard, not because, you know, I take Teleport on my champ, because I never take Teleport. I take Home Guard, that way I can always get right back into, like, the towers at late game. So Home Guard is one of the necessities as an ADC, in my opinion. It's also a necessity as a tank. So, anyway, guys, to be a successful ADC, please build damage. Look at your damaging items and go from there. And worry about attack speed last, because attack speed is not going to win your team fight. Your damage will. Anyway, taking too long on this video and ranted a little too much. But anyway, you guys have a good day. Enjoy, and I hope to see you in League of Legends soon.